You must try to be good, Samuel." Ruth unscrewed the glass bottle and poured a small amount onto the swab. "Running this house by myself and looking after you is hard enough without." She dabbed the wound on Samuel's leg, and the boy did his best not to wince. "I just wanted you to sit down and eat your breakfast. Didn't I ask you to stop running about? Didn't I warn you that I was in no mood for nonsense?" Samuel nodded. "Well," said Ruth, wiping the last traces of blood away, "what's done is done. Let's say no more about it." Her voice was always softest then, her head bent low to meet Samuel's, her eyes seeking his out. She pushed the hair from his brow. "Friends?" Samuel nodded. "When is Mother coming home?" Ruth sighed. "Please don't start that, Samuel. Not today. Why hasn't she—" The back door opened, and Olive stepped in, taking off her coat and apologizing to Ruth for being late. "The bus didn't turn up, and I had to walk up from the village." "I see." Ruth slipped the bottle of antiseptic into her pocket and patted her brown hair. "I tried to call you this morning, Olive, but the phone just rang out." Olive came in every Saturday to help with the cleaning. Back before Samuel had started school, the house had 2 maids, a cook and a full-time gardener. Now it was just Ruth, with Olive once a week, and William doing what he could with the garden on Wednesdays and Thursdays. "I walked Ma to the market," said Olive, hanging up her coat. "We were meant to go yesterday, but Ma was feeling ill, so—" Olive stopped suddenly. "What happened to your leg, Master Samuel?" Olive wasn't supposed to call the boy that. His mother didn't allow fancy titles. She was American and had all sorts of ideas about that sort of thing. Samuel knew the story by heart. From the moment his mother had married his father and moved from New York, she was determined that her English home would not suffer under the soul-crushing burden of formality. Samuel had no idea what that meant, but he was certain it had something to do with his mother being daring. "I hit the table," said Samuel. "How did you manage that?" said Olive. The hair fell across Samuel's eyes. "I fell. He was running around with one of his planes and tripped over the chair," said Ruth, helping Samuel off the table. "It's not a bad cut. He'll be good as new in no time." "I'm glad to hear it." Olive said this without taking her eyes off Samuel. "You're okay, then?" "Why shouldn't he be? It's just a cut." Ruth cleared her throat. "Olive, as I was trying to say, the reason I telephoned this morning was to tell you that I won't be needing you today. I'm very sorry you've had to come all of this way." "Oh," said Olive. "The thing is, I doubt very much I'll need your services again," said Ruth. Samuel watched the way Olive's eyes darted about, landing on him or the floor or Ruth, but never settling for more than a second before flying off to the next thing. "You don't want me to come anymore?" said Olive. "If I had my way, I'd have you here all week," Ruth said. "But, as you know, that is impossible at the present time, with things as they are." "I'd be glad to stay on, and we can settle up when Mrs. Clay returns." "I don't know when that will be, Olive." "It'll be soon," Samuel said. "It'll be soon, won't it, Ruth?" "Yes, I hope so." Ruth looked at Olive, and the scowl fell from her face. "You're an excellent worker, and I will gladly give you a reference. If there was any other way—" Olive lifted her head then and didn't look quite so mousy. "Is William to stay on?" "Samuel, why don't you go and ride your bike?" Ruth had a way of asking that didn't leave room for any answer but one. "Change your shoes first. The grass is probably still wet from last night." "I like these shoes." Samuel felt it necessary to fold his arms. "All the better to keep them from getting damp," said Ruth. Samuel considered some kind of protest, but it wasn't...